3. I'll tell you what, it just doesn't... the Weaver last pick, it just still doesn't feel like a free Weaver game. And I know you've already kind of gone over this, but you got Dreamcore to worry about, you've got Global Silence, you've got Rolling Thunder. And on top of that, you know, at some stage you're going to have a Basher up, you know, on this Ursa. It'd be a real shame if there was no Filipinos left, John, for people to spam these voice lines too.
No.
It'd be sad.
Yeah.
You know,
they're very sad.
It's not going to be the same if there's literally no SCA teams and they're still spamming the voice line throughout TI. You know?
Yeah, the only Philippines one makes no sense. The Filipinos on hand. Smoke on smoke again.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Cogs will block the way, though. Heroic. We'll just farm the Cogs while they're there. Fair enough. Bit of extra gold while they're at it. And, no first blood to be had yet. But, of course, if you are Heroic, you've got an Undying. You want to fight level 1. You know how strong you are. KJ, maybe getting a little bit too excited. Trying to bait them in, perhaps. We've got Zhao moving up as well. Drops the Cogs. Trying to be a bit of a nuisance. Overall, the bounty runes look like it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade in the end anyway. Jackie gives the compliment over. As Analog did have... someone had faster hands. I believe it was Analog.
Yeah. They end up with a 3-for-1 instead. You're going to be happy again with a setup coming in from Heroic. It's going to lead to a relatively quick bottle once more for Analog. The mid matchup again for Armel here. Shouldn't be as rough as the Shaker matchup, for sure. This is going to feel quite nice. Analog is not going to be able to really get too much from Puckish this time around as well. But he does still have that range advantage. He does still have a lot of that poke. I do like the curveball coming in as well. More damage throwing out with that illusory orb. So it allows a lot of good poke to come in here from Analog. And again, the big thing is that there isn't really a feasible threat on this puck. Not from any early rotations, perhaps. Maybe, again, once you get hook shot on Zhao, it starts to be more feasible. But Analog should just be free to weave in and out. Because one thing is that he's not going to be maximizing Puckish in lane. But you have the lane advantage anyway with the range. And see how everything else goes. Up top, of course, Yuma on the Ursa again, along with King Drumbles on the Silencer. Once more, up against Tims and Jabs on that Rubik Mars. There is steady setup here. Once you've got the lift, you can kind of look for some spearbacks. You can try to bully out Yuma a little bit more in this lane in comparison to game 1 for sure. I think the big thing is that this Rubik can fall flat quite hard. Mind you, Fade Vault is highly effective in this specific matchup. Cutting off Yuma's damage is going to be big in sustaining Jabs in this lane. They are doing a great job of just consistently trying to stop and prevent the bolts. Tim's just going for the block once more, although the sentry is already preemptively placed by KJ. Keep track and should be able to open that up. Are seeing some aggression down block here, though.
Schofield just tops the tombstone. He's actually going to turn right back around, and it seems as though Zhao is the one that's going to find himself in danger as they do at least deal with the tombstone zombies, and they actually don't have enough to finish the kill. Very nice little save there from Jackie, just taking the zombies out. Though they've got to be so careful. There'll be a swash up in 5 seconds. And with these decays flying out, they're not as tanky as they think. I'll see if Whisper's going to try for anything. Doesn't seem like it. Meanwhile, top lane, we also had Jabs getting very low on the Mars. Whisper is trying once again onto Jackie, but the opportunity has gone.
We don't quite have the mana pool any longer in Schoolfield either. No mangoes left. No clarities either to get a little bit of a reset. So he's not going to have as much of a presence here in this lane, and that is the opening here for Doom to play around with once mana is out.
He's bouncing Whisper around a little bit. He'll be just fine. Schofield should have first dibs on the healing Lotus. Top lane, Jabs is still falling pretty low here, and it is still that devastating combination of Silencer Ursa. So he's not going to feel rather safe in this top lane, and I mean, he's always got the spearback plays, but it's not going to allow him to sit in the lane and continue to farm. His bottom now, more bouncing around here for Whisper, but he's going to be okay. Mid lane's gone very well for Armel this time around on the Timbersaw as well while we're at it, and that is a good sign for Boomers. They are going to have someone to play with.
Yeah, I mean, Again, for the puck, you do have the advantage, but in terms of clearing the creeps, it is really easy for our Mel. Just whirling death, right click. You're tanky enough with a value point and reactive to not care too much about Analog's output. And there's no real threat of being nuked down in lane anyhow. There's not too much the puck can do to hold back from that. At least rune control should still be in favor of Analog, but Armel does have the value point in the chain. And there are a couple of strategic trees you can use to just kind of try to weave in. Maybe steal a rune or two later on at the 6-minute mark. A little bit more poking and prodding up top still going on.
Indeed it is. This time Tim's the target, but Tim's going to be okay. No first blood drawn yet this game too. A lot of close calls, but nothing quite yet. As Jackie now being chased down by Whisper. He's out of mana. Top lane. They will try for the Ursa, but Yuma, he's way too tanky at the moment. At the very least, you do buy a bit of space for Jabs. It's now bottom lane. They do jump in again onto Schofield, and this time, Jackie able to secure the kill before he can get anything used up like that tombstone.
And again, it's just a rough process when you're all out of mana here on the side of Heroic down block. You just don't have that presence on your dying any longer. You can't keep spamming these decades for free. Even Whisper, constantly getting caught in these cogs, means he doesn't really have the poke back to punish Jackie when he comes in. He doesn't have the swash. He doesn't have that double jump shield crash either. So it is starting
Jackie?
to open up the lane a little bit more.
It's okay. Whisper doesn't bother going for the swashbuckle attempt. A close call here down the bottom lane. Now being ultra annoying with these cogs. Here comes Schofield once again, and well, that should force them away just a little bit, but it seems like Boom, the safe lane going relatively well thus far. Speaking of safe lanes, though, of course, Yuma is still top of the CS board here on the Ursa. So it's a bit of a repeat of what was happening last game, except this time around he's not finding an infinite amount of kills here in the lane, and I guess that's another bonus for Boom in some senses that you're not feeding kills to Yuma this game.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about in the draft, right? Like, Boom, what they have to find in this game is, at the very least, equal lanes, and it is equal across the board, save for Jabs, who's been struggling a little bit more, somewhat to be expected on that Mars. But again, big difference is he's not feeding kills away either.
Well, they're diving.
That is
Jabs. As I said, they weren't feeding kills. They do dive Jabs, but looks like they don't have enough. The rotation from Jia to ensure that they can't find any kind of kill here. Once again, very nice from Boom, denying any kind of kills away. Powerrune was actually picked up by Analog in the meantime, so he's going to haste rune up on this park. Could look for a rotation once his mana pool's a little bit higher. The problem is there's no real lane for him to rotate to right now. Like, maybe bottom, if you could land a Dream Call on Jackie, it'd be pretty darn nice. So he will try and move up towards the top lane, maybe looking for that Shrine of Wisdom in 20 seconds. He will see the stacks being made. He'll pop a haste rune now, looking for perhaps Jabs on that Mars, but Jabs is safe, and well, they are still sticking around. The Shrine of Wisdom is coming up in 8 seconds. Here comes an Undying out of nowhere now, dropping the tombstone to Schofield. Has bought a bit of space for them to try and steal away this Shrine. They'll even drop the Dream Coil, so they have taken the Shrine away. It will only really cost them the life of Schofield, who has already respawned thanks to that Ceaseless Dirge. Oh, in fact, they're going. Jabs. He's going to drop. They should have KJ for their trouble, and they will. I'd still call that a pretty decent win, though, for Heroic, considering they got both Shrines and even a Jabs kill on top.
Yeah, you're happy enough. You're forcing movement out from Armel. Analog didn't have to pop a TP, so he can just kind of look at other lanes once Dream Coil's back up as well. There's some opportunities to play. You've managed to give some free room for Whisper, so he soaks into that level 6 mark now. Doesn't quite commit for the Rolling Thunder yet, just wants more presence here. The Shield Crash and Swatch going up first. Same thing for Jackie, though. Safety net is up, and honestly, this Weaver is getting a lot out of this free lane. Already has the Falcon Blade, going straight to the Deso, wants that early aggression in this game in comparison to the farm-heavy Morphling last time. It's only a bit of a difference maker as they do fight over these runes a bit.
Bit of a dangerous spot there for Analog, but no lift up from Tim's in time. So 3-1. Boom Esports again. That's a much better start. Tim's will rotate into the mid lane, but not looking for any kind of lift up. Do not believe they have enough lockdown quite yet to try and even think about analog. Zhao, though, has shown up. Not spotted either, as they have 2 sentries here to ensure that there's no detection. So he'll continue just wrapping around, but now they'll see him. He'll get the cogs down immediately defensively. That should be enough to force them to back. They still have Tombstone to play with here with Schofield. He'll sit in the Roshan pit and get the Tombstone down. And that's going to be enough to force them away. No coil committed. They'll keep tabs on the stacks as well while they're at it. In fact, they'll just start farming them from the low ground. Why not? More rotations in now, Zhao. Even Jackie coming in with the swarm. They'll pop the coil finally onto 2 targets. The Tombstone is actually still going, keep in mind. So they still have that to play with. Nobody will die, though, as both sides look to retreat. And I suppose in some sense that kind of just favors Yuma, who's been farming that whole time.
That's a big benefit here for Heroic. Free farm for the Ursa. Getting some good progression into that battle period we've seen from the last game. Definitely not as fast as game 1 for sure. So Boom are putting up a much stronger fight. They've got better early presence here. They're much more willing to drag all 5 heroes forward for an engagement than what we were seeing last time around. For Heroic, I think the main concern is the fact that you haven't had the best of times for Whisper still. And he wasn't having the best of times in the Mars either last game. But on the Pango, it does feel a little bit more sensitive. You want that timing on the defusal. It's still lining up quite nicely here. Rune control is still Heroic's way, however. They'll have another power rune for analog. The illusion rune coming in. It'll be harder to pin them down. And they still have their own stacks anyhow. So equal in terms of just finding this free farm in the triangle for both sides. Analog's going to be enjoying this into his build-up of the Witchblade. Maybe a freebie if Zhao's not careful.
Yeah, he's going to get coiled up, so the cog's not going to allow him an easy escape route. And this time, Analog will find himself a nice little freebie. So he'll continue taking those stacks away in his own triangle. Much slower game, I might add, than game 1 was. Which I suppose is perfectly fine, as long as it's even. So that's kind of good news.
I think it comes down to
Top
an
lane, they are
understanding
grouping
from
up.
Heroic as well. It's a little bit
There is
harder
a
for them
group
to
up
play
around
hard and
Yuma.
fast.
Yumi's going to show himself, but like he is hesitant. Armel's going to show up now, chain forward. They've got the lift up to start. He's got the enrage though, so it makes it rather hard to actually kill him. He'll drop the arena eventually here with Jazz, but he's got no mana. No, he didn't even have the spear available. Didn't even have it. It was on cooldown. There it is now. It will land, but can he get within range for a God's Rebuke? I don't know if he can. He does eventually, but it's no damage being dealt. Jackie can't finish the job either. So Jabs being chased, trying to play on the edge, will try for a TP attempt and should make it. Jackie will do the same, but they're going to chase him down now, knowing he's been silenced up. Hook shot in. Zhao's going to try and save and jump in onto Schofield, at least finding some kind of a target. As Armel picks up his 3rd kill of the game. Moving on to the silencer. It could be a 4th, and it will be. Armel now dominating.
Yeah, and this is what we're looking for from game 1, right? Like Armel having a playmaking hero, something that can dance around a map. This Timbersaw is providing him some really good avenues of aggression overall on the side of Boom. And it's paying off. Top net worth right now for Armel. Going straight into the Lotus Orb to have a self-dispel and more durability coming in. We're seeing just how much damage this Tim can do up against these strength heroes as well. It's not a very comfy game for Heroic to try to clump up, trying to play around this Undying and Pangolier and Ursa. Just have to show so much respect for that output right now. At this point for Boom. For Heroic, I think a couple of things need to come in. You need level 6 to be up on KJ. You need that global silence to be up. And the defusal on Whisper has to get finished up as well. He's only about 200 gold off, so that timing is lining up, but once you have some of these key things up, that's when you really need to start playing. They're hunting Yuma still.
Oh! They got close to, but not close enough. Yuma gets the TP away. Very close now to having the full Battle Fury up on that Ursa. And Jackie's obviously been having a really nice time as well now, almost at that Maelstrom, as we are chasing down Armel. Coil going to lock him down. Global Silence on top of that, but he's a very tanky target. They'll need a bit more than that. Hook shots in from Zhao. Spear as well, actually dragging him out of the cogs, forcing the arena to be dropped. Here comes a rolling thunder now from Whisper from a mile away, trying to catch up to Jabs. And he will get there eventually, knocking him back onto the high ground, but they do get the kill. It's very messy kind of engagements and prolonged team fights, but this one works out for Heroic.
It does. It cost them a lot, though. Having to throw out Global Silence, that's a minute 20 window where Boom is going to be reassured that they're not going to be dying anytime soon. And Jackie has a big margin of error here for playing. They are trying to invade and trying to Wisdom. The scan does spot them out, though.
Yeah, Yuma's going to find out. They are around. Jackie, he will get dusted up, so they don't really want to stick around anymore. No coil to lock down the Weaver, but they will take the life of Tims. Yuma pretty happy with that. Battle Fury up as well at the same time. And they will indeed take their own Shrine of Wisdom. No problems here. Armel, unable to quite finish off Schofield in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, I like this look from Boom, though. They are willing to take these risks. They're running forward. Even, again, Jackie participating a little bit earlier than in comparison to game one. Almost has that full Desolator as well. Once you've got that Deso with minus armor, that's where things start to get a little bit scary. Output from Mars Weaver can start to overwhelm. Hunting Whisper.
Only Whisper. Ooh. Oh, they missed the hook. He has Rolling Thunder up. Ooh. Even the Crocus stun coming. I mean, come on now. Everything just going wrong. And Whisper probably just thanking his lucky stars that he's able to walk out of it.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta love those little boglets and their little arms of the deep as well. It's just the one thing. You run in during daytime with Tree Heroes, they're gonna stun. Like, they will just stun. And he does manage to bail out. Even the cog kickback from Zhao pushed Whisper far enough away from where he'd expect the hook shot to be at. So just none of that panning out for the side of Boom. It is a lot of time commitment here. Like, they're still eyeing up Whisper. Even Jackie still hanging in the area. Could still be a feasible kill, but he does have a roll ready.
He does. They're moving in. Whisper, he's out of mana now, so he doesn't have that roll any longer. And in fact, without it, he will stick charge up, but he can't get it off. Quick pick up here for Jackie. That'll allow him to pick up the full Desolator now, and well, that's happy days for the side of Boom Esports. And for Heroic, I mean, they are still just waiting on Yuma at the very least. I think once the blink is up, you will start to see Yuma getting involved.
And it's going to line up with double blink. Analog's not too far off, around the same pace as Yuma is. Maybe, okay, a little bit further away, but not too far away. And once you get that double connection going, it starts to get a little bit scary. Heck, the triple blinks is where things get really interesting for Heroic, tying in with this Global Silence. They can dictate how to take every single one of these engagements. Their one issue is going to be Jackie. At the least, when Jackie did get that kill up top, his Desolator was still being delivered out, so he doesn't have an early charge to play with. Every single point of plus damage for the Weaver feels massive at this point in the game. We'll have to see, though, if Heroic can start to reel some control back. Boom are the aggressors. Like, they're even clumping around bot. They get a good scan to spot out Yuma, but this could be the harder target to pin down here.
Yuma's certainly not proving to be very easy. He does have his blink up now on the Ursa as well. Going straight into the Basher, which is the general item build when you are up against a hero like Weaver. Certainly can make life very hard for Jackie if he does get unlucky. He gets stunned immediately. Group up in the mid lane as well here. Yuma, Analog, and of course KJ will be hanging about. So Boom, they find nothing for their smoke, sadly. Yuma's waiting for the blink reveal here in the mid lane, hoping somebody will show. Could just make the jump on Zhao. He will go for a quick D-ward, but Yuma's already left the building. Doesn't see the opportunity. He's not going to waste his time sticking around.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
7-4. Very slight net worth lead Heroic's way, but still very, very close. And with a slow game like this, you never know when things pop off. In fact, it might be right now, John. 5-man smoke. If they win this fight, it leads to Roshan immediately as Tims. He will break the smoke. They are still going to run into Zhao, though. And in fact, they found Jabs to boot. That's the much bigger target that they really want. And Jabs, he is just perma-stunned by Whisper. He'll get a Yules off. He has some time to get the arena down, but no, in fact, he does not. Now onto Armel, they'll go Armel. He will chain out of it. But the team fight's already been won. And of course, Roshan is where Heroic want to head. Like, never mind, they don't. Yuma will get back to farming. Roshan later.
I think that's a fair call. They had to throw down everything just to win out that fight, and they don't manage to find the real big one they'd want. They need to put a stop to Armel's streak. He's 4-0. Would have been a massive kill if they can whack that Pinata open. Just a little bit too tanky. Again, the positioning just not the perfection you'd want. The blink does just come in for Analog a little bit slower than Whisper's coming in with his roll-up, so the instant follow-through for, say, Dreamcoil wasn't quite there. And with that allowance, Boom does manage to cling on. 2k lead coming out for Heroic, though. Still good news for them overall. But can't translate that into Roche just yet. We'll have to hang around and wait for that next global silence in a minute. So you have some breathing room here on Boom. You're getting that build-up you'd want on Jackie. Even Armel starting to work his way into damage with Kaya Sanj being formed up now. Looking for that burst, and once the Kaya at the very least is up, bursting through these physical heroes is not going to take too long for that Tim. That is the main concern, and that's why, you know, if you don't find Armel, they play it safe. They show a lot of respect for how well Armel's been playing in this game this time around. And they just kind of wait for these tools to be back up. The roll is back up. Silence still half a minute away.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Looking.
Radiant are scanning.
Jabs. Runs into the Watcher. Wants to take it. Zhao's thinking about going in, and will go ahead and take it himself.
Dire are scanning.
Still some hesitation from Heroic. Still respecting Boom. Here we go. Hookshot is there. They found Whisper with that. Into the spear as well. It'd be lovely if they could burst him down. But the Tombstone! The Tombstone's gonna save him! They had the shards up on Schofield. Oh, Whisper will survive just by a hair. And now the fight's horrible for Boom Esports. They're going to lose Zhao straight off the bat. They'll keep going. Whisper, they'll pop the Rolling Thunder now. Tim's will steal it away, but he's been stunned up immediately. They just want to burst down the Rubik. But he will make it out as the chase continues now. Armel, he'll find Schofield. Schofield will immediately respawn, of course, as the chase is now on for Yuma. So Boom, still finding a support trade for their trouble. Whisper, he was not confident moving back in with that low HP pool.
I mean, they got proper target they'd want here on Boom. Cutting off that Rolling Thunder, that's most of your teamfight control outside of Coil. Just taken away instantly. Schofield's been sitting on the shard since around 17 minutes. Finally has some action there, but it would have been much worse, of course, if you lost the Pango. Still, you get access to the free Tormentor. Free shard for Zhao is massive with a jetpack. Roche is being taken away, though, by Heroic while Tormentor was taken. Boom isn't too far away. They've still got the hook shot ready here on Zhao if he wants to be a hero.
They're going to keep tabs. Yeah, it's definitely worth him trying on the clockwork, I'd say. Just this Roshan feels very important for either team. Maybe a bit more so for Heroic, because they're arguably the weaker team right now. Up until at least the Basher BKB on Yuma. I think once the Basher's up, you're in a bit of danger as Boom. Once the BKB's up, it's a serious problem. Because in Armel, he's just nowhere near as scary.
No.
They will move into that dire triangle, and in fact, they might start Roshan themselves now, Boom. Why not? You've got the Deso, you've got the Swarm. They can make short work of it. And it doesn't really seem like Heroic have got a good read that this could be happening. In fact, even if they do, it's too late. And they don't have a read. They're drawing lines out towards the other side of the Radiant jungle.
Yeah. It's a massive win. Boom. And they get even blessed with the amp damage up top as well. Gaben's blessing coming out here. So they've got a big window of opportunity. So lots of safety nets for Jackie to just play forward. Even Jackie as well, just going straight for the BKB afterwards. I know, Heroic not able to capitalize and translate some of these wins as much as you'd expect considering game one. Boom looks like they've also woken up just a bit. Armel having, again, this playmaking potential with the Timbersaw has done a lot of work. 5-0 still, no deaths on this Tim. Heroic, it's kind of boiling down now to wait for the BKB Basher, right? In fact, it's a BKB first for Yuma. Not opting for the Basher. Wants that immunity, wants to be able to stand up front and not care about Armel, which I think is the fair call. You're also starting to work yourself into more damage for Analog. That full Parasma is starting to come out now, just lacking that mystic staff now. And again, you start to get more options to rip through these high armor targets once that's up. You just need more time. You're playing into Aegis now. You can kind of just sit back. Don't surrender too much room. I think the big thing is having to hold on to these tier 2s or forcing opposite side tier 2s here if you could on Heroic is going to be key. So long as Boom doesn't find too many objectives off of this Aegis, you're still in a somewhat happy spot on Heroic. Although Boom, again, they're ramping up that pressure, just constantly smoking out, constantly on the hunt. They know they've got to start to choke out Heroic a little bit more in here.
Okay, I'll find a target. The Schofield. Nice easy target here for Jar to take. Still just the farm game being played by Heroic. It's like Yuma did decide to opt for the BKB over the Basher first, which is fair enough. Just wants the survivability right now. Speaking of BKBs, of course, Jackie just needs the recipe now for his own. Big group up here from Heroic, and they will go for a 3-man smoke. Whisper will try to bait for his squad. Thing is, they're just pushing out the bottom tier 2 tower while you're at it. Glyph will be forced out, but it seems like Heroic are the ones that might need to think about a defense. They're wrapping around now, back towards that dire triangle. Yuma can't really approach with that smoke because Tim's is just waiting in the wake. So they'll hang around the mid lane instead. Slowly inching their way to that triangle. Zhao is ready to try and catch anyone, and he will find the Undying, but they had the Rolling Thunder, so Zhao's in big trouble now. Zhao will go down. Rolling Thunder looking for a little bit more, and Jackie in that Sakuchi trying to get away, but they have the dust out. They will defuse him up as well, but Whisper couldn't land with the stun. Here comes Armel. He'll burst down the Pingler immediately, but now Armel needs a way out of his own. He'll just run the old-fashioned way. The coil wasn't enough. Yuma still trying. Will find a secondary support in the Rubik, but they are going to lose KJ in the meantime by the looks of it as Jackie takes care of him. Armel still being chased. Yuma, he'll jump back in, finds the Timbersaw. But they don't really seem to be able to deal with Jackie because you don't really have the lockdown without the Basher. It's still a bit of a win, though, I dare say, for the side of Heroic, especially considering you are fighting into the Aegis of this Weaver.
Yeah, I think, again, you're very happy with how that set of events unfolded. It's a bit of a deep chase out from Whisper, acting as bait, not having his team jump in on the tail end of that roll. Very quick disengage from Boom as well, mitigates those losses from that jump in the triangle onto Zhao. But now you have the solutions. You know, Basher's finally up on Yuma, and it's going to be into that straight Abyssal next if you can find space to farm it up. Aegis only a minute left on Jackie, which is very marginal window now to try to play this aggression onto the tier 2. They're going to have some spells off cooking, like Coil's only a few seconds away now.
Then Jackie, he got caught with that silence. He didn't want to pop the BKB for the first line. He'll save it for the second. Beautiful timing, though. Whisper. Perfect timing with the roll. I thought he was a bit too early. So Jackie's gone. Jabs is gone. Tim's is probably just gone as well, John. I'm not going to lie. He'll run. They'll slow him up with the inhibit. That'll be a third. And at least Jackie has a sense of humor, John. At least he has a sense of humor.
At least he does. I mean, look, it was going well for Boom, but again, it's just Jackie tempting fate. He had a minute in Aegis. You have to be so conscious about those cooldowns because Coil was coming back off. This timing as well for the Basher, maybe not expecting it to be as quick on Yuma, but this is a Battle Fury Ursa who's been farming for at least, I don't know, it feels like 15 of the 27 minutes we've been watching this game. So even if he went BKB first, it's not like the Basher is going to take too long here for Yuma to find. And now you get the 4K swing going Heroic's way. You've got some key items lining up next. Again, that Abyssal for Yuma's one big thing. The BKB for Analog is going to be massive. He's not going to care while standing dead center in these engagements. You've got Whisper working onto his own Octarine core along with a Nullifier to come out, so the Yules won't save you any longer. A lot more output on the Pangolier once that's up and running as well. And for Boom, I mean, they're not out of the picture, right? Like, this 5K advantage at 28, it is significant, but it is still playable if Boom plays the cards right. They just have to be able to, again, break Heroic apart somehow.
do. They found a target in the end. No. This is what starts happening, John. You know, you have one bad team fight, and then it all starts falling apart, doesn't it? It's a Jenga tower is what we're looking at here, John. They've pulled a few too many pieces out, I think, here, Boom Esports. Scary times, John. This is when the mistakes start happening.
Yeah, it's mistakes Boom can't afford. Look, I mean, missing out on the kill on an Undying, probably not the biggest deal, to be fair. It is a lot of time wasted. It's a lot of space that Heroic's creating for themselves, taking over this bot lane, slowly chipping in onto that tier 2 with the creep waves. Again, getting this very fast build-up on Yuma. He's going to have Ags in one port. 1,000 gold away for Ags, bypassing that Abyssal, just wanting to have Enrage up every single time he is caught off guard. And that is just, again, allowing him to play that frontline aggression, to follow through from the aggression of Analog and Whisper on that Puck and the Pangolier. They're trying to shove in top as well. Jackie does have damage for it. Should be able to trade tier 2 for tier 2. But the side of Heroic's the one looking for the aggression now. They're smoked up, trying to look for the encirclement up to top for any stragglers. Armel does not have TP for half a minute. He's the one forced to walk back home. He could be intercepted here.
It could be Armel. Jabs, he's gonna get caught. No two ways about that. He will die. I mean, I guess at least it wasn't Armel. That's good news. They'll take the outpost for themselves, and well, pings are coming towards the tier 2 mid tower. Scary times as well, because Yuma's about 250 gold off the Ags now, John. And that's when this fuzzy wuzzy bear just never seems to die.
No. It's just gonna be a lot of pressure to try to get these control pieces out and try to force out an awkward uses of the Enrage. That's the best you can hope for once that's up and running. At least you have the BKB up on Armel, so Global Silence won't be as intimidating to step into. Even the Dream Coil, it's not going to be as intimidating, of course, from Analog as well. But that key timing for this full Ags on Yuma. I mean, this is them playing aggressive on Heroic without Aegis as well. They're just going for these tier 2s, no problem. There's still a tier 1 they have to clear out up top. We'll get that done eventually. The side of Boom are hanging around in that area, and Yuma is pretty far out by himself here.
I mean, he is, John, but he's got the Ags up. I don't know if they can actually kill him. He's holding out for the Enrage for now. They'll get a lot of damage off. Problem is, Analog will just pick off Zhao for free. Well, I say for free, he almost ends up dying, but not really quite. Meanwhile, Arena being dropped here, but they've got the Tombstone and the Rolling Thunder now going. Tims will at least take the Rolling Thunder for himself and does pop. But it doesn't really seem to make too much of a difference right now as Yuma jumps back in. They'll take down Tims before he even connects to the Ursa. And Armel's the only survivor left, really. TP away, he will be successful. Jabs, he's also made it.
I mean, I appreciate just how well Heroic's taking this aggression. Again, this is them taking point after losing Aegis a while ago, not picking it up, not having Aegis spawned up again yet, and they've already cleared out the map. Like, this tier 2 top should just be set to fall. They don't have the coverage of Global Silence any longer, but the way they're just looking for these backlines, and again, just utilizing this back and forth. I have to say, John Uel's been a little bit unlucky with these cogs. Right, like, Yuma's coming in, he gets pushed back off the cliff onto the low ground. They can't intercept the Ursa and isolate him away, so they don't have a feasible threat, and then it's just an opening for Analog to come back in with that coil. And it just becomes chaos. I think that's the second time we've seen the cogs work against Zhao with pushback. And it's getting a little bit complicated for Boom. With all these BKBs coming in, with all the damage sources coming up, with Roshan back off cooldown, even the Tormentor Yuma taking for free. Free shard up for KJ now, so even more minus int, which will be very painful to play into once that constantly starts to stack up. Just limiting what you can do in the middle of these prolonged engagements as well. Like, the man pool is so important to have because of how long these fights take. Boom trying to go for the smoke. This is the right time, right before Roche. They need to find a good target, though.
Lift up onto Analog's going to be a great start, but he gets the phase shift anyway, and the Rolling Thunder again from Whisper. Making life very hard as Tims, and it's just non-existent. In fact, well, they catch the owner of the hookshot, John. He's gonna die. Jabs, he'll jump back in. Still misses the spear though on Analog, sadly, so no real follow-up to that. as they'll continue now with the defensive arena. Armel, he'll get caught out on the Timber Sword trying to chain away. He won't get bashed mid-chain. He'll be okay. They'll lose their support duo. And of course, they'll also lose Roshan. Oh my. Well, why is every team's prepared for the Filipino teams? Well, why is that?
Hey, look. How dare you? Boom ID, the pride of Indonesia. Michael Phoenix with no Indonesians on. How dare you? Number one, honorary Indonesian in Jackie, okay? Don't do them dirty like that. Number two, Zhao is not having a good game. I think he wanted to hook shot in to control the puck from the left, but I think he hook shotted Tims or someone was in his way again. They couldn't get that chain control off. So Tims just casually phase shifts and that fight's a mess. You need all these pieces to line up. Almost the same story as Nemesis, right? The pieces have to work together, but they're kind of fighting each other just a bit here.
Wow, no? He's trying to start a fight. They're actually close for Heroic to try and connect. The hook shot is going to ensure that KJ does go down. Yuma's still trying to intervene, though. He's got an Arcane Rune active. Whisper, he's going to pop that Rolling Thunder, chasing down Zhao, but a nice Cogs block, making it so they have to go for Armel instead. And you know what? I think Heroic won't mind that trade. They'll happily go after Armel. And with that, immediately just through the twin gates, seems like Yuma will just continue farming through the bottom lane. And boom, I mean, they are still lacking a lot here, John. You're just not really seeing the tools that they require to put this game in their favor.
No, I mean, they're starting to ramp up that damage on Jackie. Daedalus coming out next. He's doing a great job of keeping top shoved in. But there is still access points here for Heroic down bot and mid for the high ground threat while this Aegis is up anyhow. So it's not too much of a concern. Oh.
They're going again. Jabs. Just not having a game. Oh, no, not Jackie. And the hook shot a little bit late to the party. And there you go. Surprise abyssal reveal here from Yuma. Roshan banner, of course, available. They'll drop it eventually. I mean, they don't even need to be fair. They may as well hold out.
Yeah. And this just gets so scary. Octarine up for Analog. You've had the Octarine running for Whisper for a while. The uptime for their spells is just ridiculous. And how do you stop the two lives on Yuma? I don't think they can handle one. Two is a bit of a pipe dream considering all the saves and how well Heroic again are dipping in and out here. You need to somehow find the backline. And it's just so hard. Like every single time they get cut off, they get split apart. There's so much pressure here on Jabs and John Uel to make some plays, but it's not an easy game to get that done in.
There you go, there goes the first ranks.
Oh,
again. Oh boy, they found Armel. He's gonna be okay. Rolling Thunder, Whisper, just pump faking from the back. Jump in, here we go. Rolling Thunder, perfectly
Whisper.
catching three of them. And that'll be, I think, all she wrote. Jabs is down another time. They'll try to chase down Whisper, but he's just taken no damage. I mean, Yuma is somewhat unhealthy, but he's got the Aegis up. I don't think he really needs to sit back here. They don't need to play this safe. They'll force out the glyph, they'll retreat for a little bit. They can still move in. Yuma trying to find Jackie in the back, won't get quite so lucky, but is still able to just casually enrage and get out of there. No rule threat for the Ursa. They'll actually leave the melee barracks for now. Jabs is coming back up in 15. You've also got Zhao in 3. Oh, jump into Armel. They'd love themselves a Timber Saw. Armel's going to be okay, though. Back to the racks they'll go. Zhao is now back and available on the clock. Jabs is up in 1. The hook shot in. Oh, it's blocked. It's blocked.
How?
Tims will go down. I don't know anymore, John. I don't know. Armel, he's going to try and salvage this, but he's gone in alone. Nobody's really there to back him up. They're all just kind of watching. They're trying to deal with this damn tombstone. They'll finally get it. Schofield has been left behind for a little bit, but his team is still sticking around as they'll make the jump to the back line. Jackie forces a time up, and now the bash is coming out. And that'll be Jackie down, though. He has buyback. He'll commit onto Jabs now. Jabs trying to get away. They'll drop Armel instead. Yuma, still uncontested, will finally look to retreat, but he still has that Aegis. He's still got the secondary life, and they're not going to wait for either. There was 20 seconds left. They'll just take him down and give him the reset. And that means that Jabs is going to die. You would have just been better leaving the Ursa to let the Aegis expire. It was only 20 seconds left anyway.
Yeah, they're still set to go. I mean, what's holding you back now? You force out the buyback from Jackie. Dream Coil's back up. Roll's back up. Yuma, BKB's on long cooldown, sure, but do you really care?
Tim's caught in the back. Jackie is gone. GG is called. And there you have it, John X Fire. A horrible day for SCA. Props to Heroica. A fantastic performance. Wildcard and Heroic